the roads to rock crawling, to buck chuck, to screaming eagle. We talk about it all here with Jason and Chris on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey. It's nuts, really. We get dirty with it.
Welcome to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, episode 129. How about that for an intro, Chris?
Oh my God! People are probably going, "Am I on the right show? What the hell's going on here?"
Hey, you know when you have Christopher Walken in the house, you gotta have him do an intro for you.
Hell yeah, you do.
Absolutely classic, and that was great. So you just, like I say, Trail Hero man just never disappoints. It just keeps delivering.
I gotta get down there next year.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that was great. Got to we'll start out with our Trail Hero virgins. We did a quick podcast with Georgia Boy,
Right?
and then Lady Samurai and Samurai James.
That's correct.
So sat down with them and just kind of got their first take, day 2 of what they thought of the area of Sand Hollow.
Right.
The trails and how their new rig was doing, Lady Samurai and Samurai James.
Yeah, this is their first time out in it.
Yeah,
right?
it was yeah, and what a place to take it for the first time. Haul it quarter of the way across the country and then go. Not like you're just taking it to Hollister to try the little shakedown run. No, let's take it to Utah to one of the toughest places to 4-wheel and let's give it a shakedown.
Well,
but that's the way they are.
Wild, so yeah.
Yeah, they don't F around, man. It's straight up, just right in the deep end.
All in.
Yep. No life preserver, no nothing.
Throw all your chips in the table.
Yep, right
all
in the center.
Baby.
All in. Going all in. Love that about them. So, yeah, so we've got that interview, and then I got a chance to sit down with Christopher Walken.
Yeah, you did.
Mr. Walken.
So we'll
Walk-in freezer. So it was great. And, we were going to do this as a bonus episode, but we just listened to it. There's too much good stuff. So this is a whole nother episode.
Yep.
It's there it is.
We give till it hurts. So let's roll it.
Okay. All right. We are here. Trail Hero 2021 in remote studio, Taj Mahal. And we are day 2 of our Trail Hero trip. And I've got a few guests here in the Taj Mahal. So we'll start out ladies first. Lady Samurai, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to Trail Hero. And next to Lady Samurai is James, Samurai James.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, how's it going? All right, and then we got Georgia Boy here.
How y'all doing?
There you go. So we are doing well. It is what is this? Sunday night.
Yeah,
Is it Sunday?
Day 2 wheeling.
Yeah, day 2 wheeling. So we got here Friday evening, and we got set up, and then Saturday we went out wheeling all day, and then today went wheeling. Good part of the day, 3/4 of the day, I'd say. So I wanted to get all of you our Trail Hero virgins. So yesterday was your first eye-opening experience of Sand Hollow and the area of Hurricane, Utah. Anybody just jump in and just give me your first impressions of this area.
Scenery ain't bad.
No.
It's absolutely gorgeous here.
Yeah.
I mean, just all the red rock, Sand Hollow Resort is amazing. The whole area is it'll just blow your mind if you ever come here.
There you go.
And you're close to everything. So if you need something, there's a grocery store, a parts run, 5 to 10 miles away. So, if you haven't been here yet, you need to put it on your bucket list. Even if you can't make Trail Hero, come to Sand Hollow, Utah.
There you go.
I second what Georgia Boy says, but also it's just mesmerizing out here. The scenery is beautiful. It definitely makes you feel very small in such a big world, and it just puts you back in a perspective of how small we really are in this world.
You did say that yesterday, and that was very fitting on West Rim Trail. We were on West Rim and going amongst all those crazy rock formations. You go, yeah, I feel small.
Well, and especially when you're looking down on the helicopters and airplanes
we were up
going
there.
through the valley,
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to look down on the helicopters, and it's not like we were, just barely above them. We were above them by a long ways.
Oh, yeah.
So and yeah, the views were just out of this world. I mean, the rock formations, basically how they were shaped and cut out of that sandstone rock, I believe, and for someone who hasn't gotten out of California much, it's just just incredible. Even the drive out was amazing, with that rock canyon we went through.
The Virgin River Gorge.
That was awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
The only
Minus
complaint I could really come up with is there's no shade tree.
No, I told you. I warned you. There's no shade out here. Bring it easy up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Well, yeah. Weather's been actually really good up
Yeah.
until the windstorm this afternoon, but that only lasted about an hour, maybe. So, yeah, we ran West Rim, which is a good trail to start out on because it is very scenic, and there's a lot of offshoots for optional climbs, walls, ledges to go play on. And we spent a good time, good fair amount of time on that trail yesterday, just soaking in the scenery and then, checking out some of these walls and getting your feet wet with getting adjusted to the terrain because it's much different than what we're used to wheeling in the Sierras and like you mentioned today, James. The rocks move up in the Sierras where this rock doesn't move. It's good traction, but then sand can be on top of it, which makes it less traction. So it's a mixed bag out there.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Just the traction day by day, as we increase difficulty on some of these trails, and just how the rig sticks and nothing moves is just incredible. You don't need an absolute ton of ground clearance, worrying about boulders and everything else moving on you or trying to get over things. You can just nothing that moves out there, and you just got to watch your off cameras mainly.
Yeah, for sure. Forward and backwards, too.
Yeah.
Up and down.
And the traction being so crazy, I said it the other day that, I had to relearn how to drive, my LJ that I've had for 12 years.
Right.
Just because the traction's so good, the gears that I would normally use to do obstacles, second and third gear, low range, that doesn't work out here because, at least in the Sierras with, granite or something like that, I could give it a little wheel spin, heat up the tires, and then, it would float its way out. You can't quite do that because you're just going to get traction and you're going to, especially with a clutch, you can stall it really quick and easy. Yeah. So, that's what I was amazed at is, that first day it was just relearning how to drive the rig.
And a little bit of the Moab bump action, where you get up to an obstacle. You got to give it a little accelerator there to get a little momentum and get your tires bumped up over that ledge or whatever it may be. So after doing West Rim yesterday, and then we got to the top of the world, which is pretty much out in the far outskirts of Sand Hollow there. Very cool, and they got signs on this tree, quote unquote tree in air quotes. It's just a big limb that they propped up out there with a bunch of signs on it that, Rubicon was like 617 miles away, I think. As it goes
617, 615, yep.
Yeah, that was about right.
Yeah, putting a bunch of different trails on there, notable trails. Very cool. And then we discovered, or Amber discovered, that she was missing some nuts and things going on.
From the U-bolts on the leaf spring.
Yeah, there was some major components.
Some things left the vehicle that didn't need to.
Yeah, so they worked on that, and then it limped back to camp, and that was like, what, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon? It was
Ish,
later in the afternoon.
Definitely getting late.
And then so James, Rhonda, and I are sitting there, and everybody else, started working their way away and back to camp. And goes, hey, let's go do another trail.
Yeah, bad influence. What can I say?
Very bad influence. But I was like, heck yeah, let's go. So we ended up on Plan B, and that was a fun trail. That was a great afternoon, early evening trail. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Plan B was it was fitting because we were actually looking for a different trail, and saw Plan B, and we had to make a couple modifications to the Samurai because kind of first trip out and finding some little kinks to work out and whatnot. But
you mean like no fuel?
No, too much fuel.
No,
Too much fuel. You're right. Too much fuel. Yes, too much fuel.
Too much fuel, and
hey, it's been a long couple of days.
Yeah, and just little minor adjustments here and there, and especially with a screwdriver and a nice shock,
Yeah.
So you should mention that should be mentioned that you are not wheeling the Blue Samurai. You've got the Black Beauty now. That's new to you.
Yeah, so new to us, we got another Samurai. So now we got his and hers, and took a lot, just like the blue one. It was quite a bit of a overhaul process, but luckily, thanks to EFAB, Ellison Fabrication, he was able to help us get it up and running for Trail Hero, which was a really big time crunch, I would have to say, to pull it off to get it here.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of phone calls throughout the weeks leading up to this, and you were saying the play-by-play of getting things done. So he's out of where's he out of? He's near you.
Yeah,
California.
he's up towards the Colfax area.
Yeah, okay.
So just a friend that I've known for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think my dad went to school with his dad and
look at
whatnot.
that.
So just kind of friends in the mix, and he's always been working on rock crawlers ever since pretty much day one. And
So you had very minimal seat time in that buggy before you put it on a trailer and drove 700 miles to Trail Hero.
I drove it once. I lied. I drove it twice. I drove it once when we got it all running and kind of took it across this rock pile to see what we could find out right out of the gate, which we had some fuel issues with the Harley carburetor, and Harleys are made to pretty much be gravity fed, so pretty much any PSI at all is too much for them, which we ended up having to make another modification out here on it.
Yeah.
And so I drove it once then, and then the second time was I drove it on the trailer, and we said, hope this works out.
Said a little prayer, and here we go. Yeah, you were. We had that too much fuel pressure, and it was flooding out Saturday morning.
Yeah, it was flooding out Saturday morning. At the time we weren't quite sure why it wasn't starting because we could crank it over, it was cranking fine, and wouldn't start. Then we started looking at it.
And how many PSI does that carburetor need? And specify what kind of carburetor is on there.
Well, that's what he did say, Harley carburetor.
Oh, okay. Oh, did you? All right.
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't listening.
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I was out
boy.
there. Hey, it's been a
Faded
long
out.
couple of days.
Oh, boy.
And I ain't even drinking.
He's already
Jeez.
sleeping over there.
I know.
Right.
Thanks for joining the podcast, Cody.
All right. Woo!
Right. So we went to go check the spark, and I hate being that guy who's got a broken rig on the trail. Nobody wants to be that guy. So, I was just, having a little tunnel vision, focusing in on the problem, and I wasn't paying attention when we went to go check the spark, and Mr. Georgia Boy over there handed me a screwdriver that, you were able to use it for a chisel. It's got a metal rod through it. So when he went to go crank it over for me, I got a nice good shock out of it.
Let's just say it wasn't a fully insulated handle.
No, it was not. No, not fully insulated.
So that was just pure good shenanigans right there. But we were able to figure out that it was getting too much fuel. Turned the fuel pump off. Kind of let it run out. It ran the fuel pretty much into the line, which stayed running for a long time with only just a fuel on the line. So then we were able to kind of diagnose that it was getting too much, and Jason was helping me with adjusting the regulator while I was keeping it running, and we got it to where the gauge says zero.
Zero.
And Seems to be the magic number.
Right.
Yeah, it
good.
runs on zero pressure.
0
Wow.
psi. It's
Yeah.
great. It must be a samurai thing.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. I know you were getting frustrated, and you're like, "Damn it, I should have brought the blue one." And but I'm like, no.
At least he would have had
that's all
tools
right.
in the blue
Yeah.
one. We had to
Yeah.
loan him tools all
I
day
know,
long.
but we-
Jesus.
Yeah, no room.
That's why he got
Hashtag
shocked.
Buggy life. Hashtag buggy life. It happens.
Yeah. So luckily, I got good friends with me to
There you go.
pack
See?
the tools for me.
Yeah. So we got you going, and then it ran great the rest of the day, and then so Plan B was really cool. Late afternoon, some awesome views. We got some great photos on the trail there, and on some ledges.
Yeah. What was that one with that had the drop off on it? That you got to hug the wall there.
Well, it's called Tilt-A-Whirl. Tilt-A-Whirl, but you weren't like dropping off over a 12. It was like a 12-foot cliff instead of 1,200 feet. But there was some. It was like, wow, this. I mean, there was room, but it was like made you make sure you were hugging that high side a little bit.
Yeah, there were some very good climbs out there, and Jason went up something that I didn't even think was possible. I mean,
that was at the that was at the end of that BF area Plan B.
Yeah, at the end of Plan B.
Plan BFG out here this week, but yeah.
Yeah, that wall climb of yours was just flat out amazing. The Wall of Doom was pretty cool, and I got a score to settle with that one.
Yeah, you didn't make it, but you tried. You gave it a college try.
If only you'd been in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, might have been, something like maybe knowing the rig you're driving,
Well, yeah, you got a lot of leverage to play with there.
Should have went to the safety clinic,
That's right.
Yeah.
No, it's you're learning the rig and getting a feel for it, and you got a crash course literally yesterday, and then so then that wall that I climbed at the end of Plan B, and it's a total optional line. It had tire tracks on it, so I said, well, somebody did it, but it's like twice as long as the Wall of Doom, and steeper.
Way steeper.
It's crazy, and it had holes in it that like swallow up your tires, and it's like. I looked at it and I'm like, this is stupid. And then, next thing I know, I'm climbing it. So, but the buggy hooked up so well. And I'm like, man, it's just, but when I got halfway up that, I was like, okay, I do not want to back down right now. Because you slid down. There was no backing. There was no control down this thing. You were going to slide down backwards and of course hit the apex at the bottom and possibly roll over on your lid, but no, it hooked up really good, and then I was like, wow, okay. Then we got to see the Flintstone house.
Yeah, the Flintstone house
that
was
was
cool.
super cool. The kissing turtles, these two big rocks, and it looks like turtles kissing, I guess. You kind of see it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool rock formations, a lot of scenery. We covered a lot of ground yesterday.
Yeah, the squeeze canyon that we went through, the little... Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yep.
So then we worked our way back to camp, and we got back. What was it, like 8 o'clock or so? I don't know. It was just before dark. I don't know. It was late.
About 6:30.
Yeah, maybe it was 6:30. I guess. Yeah. So we had a full day.
Yeah,
Full
it was
day.
a blast, though.
I burned like 6 gallons of fuel. You said about 10 in yours.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was close to 10.
Wow. Yeah. Well, the sand dunes eat it up out there, so there's a lot of sand.
Yeah, those hamsters they were definitely working overtime.
Yeah. So. Having fun in the sand dunes, and it's just there's so much variety out here. It's so cool. So then, anything else to add from yesterday? I don't think so. It's pretty straightforward. Minor mechanical stuff. A lot of fun. Great weather.
Good dinner.
Oh yeah. So then we went to dinner at Sand Hollow Resort last night, and that was
At the grill. That was very
nice.
good. Looking
Nice
out
dinner.
over the golf course. Yep.
Yep, for sure.
Beautiful golf course.
Yeah. And then, Sunday morning, we hooked up with Holly Fowler, the Mischief Maker, and ran there. She had some friends with her, Gary and Dana, and then there was
Tanner from,
and Craig, and let's see, who else do we have there? And then our group. We had Amber and Jason, of course, and then you guys, James and Rhonda, Kobe, myself, Tommy, CJ with a CJ. Yeah, it was full. We had a big group.
Yeah, it was. I think we had 9 rigs.
Yeah, yeah. And we went and did Slip Lock Gulch.
And John's.
And then we ended up on John's Trail.
Yeah, John's Trail.
And there was some, and it was great because the harder sections had an easier way to go around. So some people chose the easier way, and some people chose the hard way. And
Probably the most unique thing about wheeling out here is you can take a bunch of varied rigs, and there's always a go around if somebody's
not always.
coming.
Not some of these
Yeah,
trails. There's
yeah.
not. You get
Yeah.
into these canyons, you're locked in. You're
Yeah.
going forward or backwards. That's it. You're
Yeah.
not avoiding. any of the
But you can
obstacles.
usually get out.
Usually though, but
Yeah.
most of these trails 7 and under have some bailout somewhere.
Yeah.
But that was a good trail today. I like that.
I was by far, so far. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it's only been 2 days,
Yeah.
but so far, I think that was my favorite so
Okay,
far.
there you go. What'd you think, Rhonda? You're awfully quiet over there.
I thought they were both awesome. Definitely, I think a little more difficult obstacles today. That was fun to see. And like you said, the variety for each rig, there was a line for every rig we had. So that was very cool.
There was some interesting off-camber climbs today.
A lot of off campers. I mean, there was several people that had the Jeep Wave going.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was some good action photos and video going today.
Which I think we might want to rename that to the Amber Wave because I think every obstacle, I think
she had a wheel
was
up
waving.
everywhere. It was so good. Yeah, I got to go through my photos and video. I haven't even had a chance to go through that today. But yeah, there was some good shots. We didn't have any mechanical today, really. Not out on the trail.
No, not really.
No.
Just
Other
very
than
back.
Other than Amber's locker bitching like
Yeah,
hell.
well, that
Yeah.
lunchbox locker sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
It was
Oh my
bitching
gosh,
the
and
whole
it's
time.
just- you see the wheel shutter and it just sounded like a cement mixer with big ass rocks in it.
Tommy's steering overheated, but it's been doing that since Fordyce.
He had a little steering issue,
Yeah.
but he made it through. So we ran that, and then we ran up John's Trail, which was fun. There were some great spots in John's Trail. Again, some optional, harder stuff that we did. We got into one little crevasse that was pretty nasty.
that one really reminded me of kind of the V-notch at Fordyce because
Yeah.
it was potentially. I mean, it's different out here, but kind of almost the same situation.
Yeah, and Dana that has the and Gary have that LJ, and man, beautiful LJ, and that it just kept slipping into that hole.
That was one heck of a hole too.
Yeah, and it was and I got up there and started helping, and I saw a line and it started working, but then I needed to get her further driver to clear, but then I was also looking at the wheelbase in the back, and I don't know. I mean, it wasn't too far off the line at the beginning. Got her on the line the second time, but then it fell into the hole again. So I don't know. It was a little frustrating for me as well, but Dana did extremely well. She was calm and listening, and it got into a spot where we had to get a winch to keep her from going over, and lowered her down slowly. She was able to use her own winch on the rig and back down. So that was very well played and not one scratch on the vehicle. So I was happy about that. And then I was like, okay, you can let Holly guide you now, but she was done. She didn't want to. But each rig is different in the wheelbase thing, right?
Right. It's a game of inches, and with the way that hole was, I mean, I think tire size on that rig is 43s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a huge rig, a lot like Holly's, and it was crazy.
And that was the left line, and you went right up after her on a right line, which would probably be very sketchy for her to do. But your wheelbase being probably about 10 inches shorter went right up it.
Yeah, because she's probably more like 115, 120.
Yeah,
She's
she's
118.
118. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm 105, so there's a pretty big difference there, and being a lot smaller rig, only on 37s compared to 43s, and I was able to kind of just angle slightly different, and was able to find a line that worked for me, and game of inches, and
Yeah, that was a good line.
I mean, you could be off a half inch, and you won't make it, and you get on the right line, and you just walk right up it.
Be off a half inch and take your windshield frame off, like somebody we know.
And then Jason just walks right up it, like with that billy goat of a buggy he's got. We're just going to start calling that. That's the goat.
Billy goat.
The goat.
It is
Billy goat. The goat.
Greatest of all time.
Because then there was an optional obstacle at the top of that one, a left, that was probably the steepest thing you've ever ran.
The steepest, longest, I would say, on that type of terrain. Well, we were driving up to this first obstacle that we were just describing, this V-notch. We all looked up the hill and saw the tire tracks going on the section that you're describing, and we're like, we're not going there, are we? We're not going there. Nobody wanted to go up there. I mean, it looked bad from afar, and you got up near it, and it was really ugly.
Yeah, Holly. When Holly was, because he was, running point, and I was sitting there looking up, and after she walked up to V-notch just fine there, and when she went right, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, she did. She made it right, and then there was, there's all kinds of different lines, and so it's like, okay. And then after playing in the V-notch, and then, I come up, and then I was like going to park next to Holly there, and your rig was up there, and then people started yelling, and I thought they wanted a winch point because I didn't know if Dana was going to try it again or something. So I start backing up, and they're like, no, go up that hill, and so I look at it, and I'm like, all right, I'll stick my nose in it just to see.
And Kobe scrambled up.
Yeah, and then Kobe says, oh, I'll guide you up.
Yep.
At that point, I still was not committed to doing the hill because I'm like, dude, this is stupid.
And it was hard for me to climb, walking.
Yeah.
And then Lady Samurai saw this going down and was like, I got to get this on video, and took off running up the hill.
Oh, yeah. So you ran up there, too. So, yeah, it was crazy. Going, there was a big rock that came out into the trail that I barely got around without hitting my cage, and it leaned you into this rock, and I was like, okay, backing down this thing would be really tough.
Not an option.
Yeah, because you would slide into this rock, it would get caught basically in your roll cage, and you'd be somehow winching to pull off the cage away from this rock. So that was going through my mind, and then I come up to this wall, the really steep section, and tried to crawl it, because I was able to crawl most of the stuff today, which was pretty freaking crazy. So I tried to crawl it. No, wasn't happening. And tires were heating up, and it'd grab a little bit, and then slide back.
Well, you kept hitting that little ledge that was just barely sticking out in the trail. I mean, barely sticking out, but his tires were spinning, and he would just barely touch it, and it would just suck him in. And once he got to the left and got some throttle into it, it was fine.
Well, so I had to back up to get a little run at it, right? And so that hill was so steep that when I put it in neutral and into reverse, and I was standing on the brakes, and it just slid backwards. I was sliding backwards, so then I threw it down into first, transmission hooked up, and then I'm like, okay, it's go time, and just mashed the throttle. Got all four tires spinning, and it hooked up, and I'm like, just go. And it did. I got over that, but then we were only maybe 3/4 of the way up the hill, and then it kept going. So I was like, okay, I got good momentum. I'm good. And then it was like really soft sand, so I'm like excited that I made it up to this point. I'm like, oh, I got this now. Well, then it started bogging down the sand, so then I had to let the big dogs eat, and got into it hard, and it just popped up on the sand and floated, and then took off over the hill. But oh my gosh, that was insane.
Yeah, it was epic to watch, and then on top of that, when you opened that thing up, it just sounded so good.
Just I'll put it this way: I wouldn't go do that again this week.
You got one done. You got one of your 9 lives. It's all right. Yeah,
one and done. That was insane. But one thing I was going to say prior to all that, there was a rocky notch section as well that Dana was having a problem in. There was a wheelbase issue in that spot, and trying to get through this thing, and you look at it and you go, okay, well, it's a difficult obstacle, but doable. It's not nothing crazy, and she just couldn't get it. And so I went down there, and then so I felt good about helping her there because we walked through it. We got a little momentum, got her into second gear, And she motored right through after that. She got the feeling. She was starting to feel the rig out and see how much throttle to apply and how quickly to apply the throttle to get the momentum built up to carry this driver rear up over this rock. I mean, it's 44-inch ledge that you got to climb up. And so she did it. So that was great. But I wish I could have got her up that other section. That was that V notch.
Yeah, that was and I really hope they post that video of that, because I call it a battle. We all have that obstacle, that you just can't get up,
right?
Just because you're off by like an inch, and there was a lot to learn by watching her drive that, what I called that battle, and the whole time she was battling out with that obstacle, she didn't get frustrated, she didn't get mad. And, a lot of people, including myself, you just, after about 4 or 5 times, you kind of just want to give it the onion and, send it to the moon. To
get it
see,
with your purse?
Yeah, pretty much. And to see if you can get it. And she just, calmly just kept working at it. And then, boom, right line, went right up and over.
Yeah, exactly. And she did. And that was great at that lower obstacle. And then this upper obstacle, it just wasn't happening. And there's days like that, you get to that point and you're just like, okay, let's back off before we do any damage, break something, do any body damage, stuff like that. So, anyways, okay, so then we got, that was towards the end of our day, I guess, huh? We kind of got up to the top there. We ended up on Renegade Trail, and we stopped and BS, got a great photo, group photo with the lake in the background and the mountains. And I mean, just everywhere you turn is just a photo moment, Kodak moment. But so then Holly had to run into town when we were going to go run another trail. But then we said, let's go back to camp because it was pushing 3 o'clock or something at that point, I think.
Yeah, it was
right at 3.
Yeah, so then we worked our way back, and it was actually cool because we drove out on the pavement to get there. So we drove out the gate of Sand Hollow, and then made a left on the highway, and then drove and entered a back section or side section, whatever you want to call it, of Sand Hollow, one of the access roads. So that was better than following the fence line road and going through a bunch of whoops and stuff. And then we came home the exact same way. So, but the buggy with the water in the tires, at about 45, 50, it starts getting a little motion going. Yours does the same thing with the water.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the coilovers is absorbing so much of it.
Yeah.
Because with the leaf springs, it feels like, the wheels are going to come off the thing. But, it definitely still gets a little cattywampus, going down the road at 40 miles an hour.
Stickies, aired down with water, spooled.
It's not too fun with 10 psi without the water.
No.
So yeah,
right. But the spooled on the street, this thing just wants to go straight on the pavement. So, anyways, that's cool. It's just fun to get out on the open road too and let her open up a little bit. So yeah, made it back to camp and just chilled and. Started working through or getting set up for pizza. So we had a nice pizza, build your own pie night. And we're just easing into the evening here. So I think we're going to call it a somewhat early night, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
showers. So
tomorrow is I keep on.
Yeah.
Torkerville Falls. No, there's no R in it.
There's something falls, I know that.
Yeah. So we're heading out there. It's supposed to be a real scenic trail. The Huntress showed up today, and Jonathan, and they...
And Finn.
And Finn, yes, an RV. So they know a back way where we don't have to ride on the street, so that's going to be cool. So I'm looking forward to that. It's supposed to be a really cool Tokero Falls. That's how it's pronounced. So it's supposed to be super scenic, very cool. Nothing crazy hard, so we can just chill and take the buggies. Tom's taking the golf cart side by side, so he's going to give the Bronco a rest tomorrow. And So we had a couple repairs we gotta make a mention of here, right? So James had a leaky brand new caliper, right, on the rear.
Yeah, gotta love those O'Reilly parts. Replace the caliper.
O'Reilly.
Crappy auto parts.
So brand new caliper that you bought.
Yeah,
brand new rebuild or whatever.
Yeah, brand new rebuild, whatever it is. We even put new pads in and got out here this morning, fired it up, and I think we pulled over ready to pull out, and people are like, "What's that running down your tire?" And I'm like,
brake fluid.
No, brake fluid. So we made it through the day, and we were able to get back. And God, I feel really terrible. But Amber's brother,
yeah, Gavin.
Yeah. CJ also had a problem.
Yeah. What did CJ have a problem with? What?
He had an electric fan problem.
Yeah.
He had a fire. He had a fuse problem with the electric fan.
Yeah, it melted.
It melted.
It melted that thing down.
So we're going back into the Sand Hollow Park through the entrance, and he said, "We got a fire." Fire? That's not good.
Yeah, we're all turning around at this point, like what?
So it was a maxi fuse, and I've seen it
50
before.
amp?
40.
40.
But it gets corrosion, or it's just a bad connection. High resistance starts, and then it starts getting hot, and then boom, fire.
Yeah, and it was on the cooling fan.
Yeah, pulling so much current, the cooling fan. So it lit off. Luckily, he was able to get that out right away. It was, he pulled it off to the side and didn't have to pull a fire extinguisher.
Well, good thing he has a manual switch on the fans.
Yep. Killed the power to it.
Killed the power to it.
And then so you guys had to make a parts run into town.
Yeah, and we were at that time. We were discovering that a lot of people needed things. I think everybody needed fuel. I think we took in about 10 gas cans with us.
Well, yeah, you said, hey, we're going to go stop for fuel. So I'm like, well, might as well fill up a tank while you're there.
Right.
Filled up my tank, so I got 10 gallons of fuel.
Yeah, you got 10. I got 10. CJ
I still
got
have 10.
Tom got 10. And so we were, at the time, because, all of our rigs are set up for base camp, we were kind of like, okay, what's left that we can take, for all this? And
right.
We're like, oh, we'll call Amber, and, Gavin walks up and just like, hey, man, keys are in the truck. See you later.
Yeah, you were looking for a rig that wasn't aired down to go into town, basically.
Right.
And
so, I don't even know the guy, and he's just like, yeah, keys in the truck.
Keys are in it. Go take it.
Knock yourself out. And
Part of the group. Go.
Wow.
But you guys did. You that was great. Made the parts run. You got ice and gas and parts and.
I do have to say, being out here in Utah, versus California, I've easily spent $100 on ice going, to Fordyce, Meadow Lake trip, and we got all this ice, and CJ and I were like, we're gonna split it, and get up there, and I took half, he took half, and it was $16, and it was like, what?
$16 for the ice?
Yeah, for all that ice we brought back. Yeah, so,
That's
just kind of
awesome.
blew my mind. I was like, so nice to be out of California.
I know. Yeah, and then you guys did the right thing when you borrowed somebody's truck. You filled it up with fuel and brought it back there. So that was cool.
Yeah, it's the least you can do. That way, might be available next time too if you need it.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
So
pay it forward.
Yeah, CJ got his rig set back up, and you got yours fixed right away. And then we had dinner, and yeah, it's good. So we're ready to ride tomorrow.
Yep.
8 a.m. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to add on your day 2 days at Sand Hollow Trail Hero 2021? Anything else you want to add here at the beginning of the trip? Just things that you're looking forward to, or just like
more scenery
you want
tomorrow.
to go home? You done? Where are you at?
No, I'm moving here.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm moving here.
I see the real estate book on your counter here.
Yep. Been on Zillow and Realtor.com.
I would have to say hashtag Lance Life, hot shower after this.
Yes. Yeah, you
Georgia
got
boy.
Lance life going on.
Yes, major thank you to Georgia Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Kobe's got the Taj Mahal, and he says, hey, I'm not using the cab over camper. You guys are welcome to it. So you took him up on that offer. So that's nice.
Yeah, that was not a hard yes at all.
Yeah. Guys are, like a drug dealer. Now you're hooked.
Oh, we're damaged goods at this point. We're gonna have to go home and find a Lance camper.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah, it's great. So nice, and this facility here is great. Looking forward to a nice hot shower right now.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we will add this first segment of mini at Trail Hero 2021. And with that, we say goodnight. We're out. All right, we are here, Trail Hero 2021, and you just never know who you're going to run into out here. I mean, there's celebrities in the off-road world, celebrities in the Instagram world, and then there's just pure class, A-list celebrities that you run into here at Trail Hero. And I have the esteemed honor to be here right now. Mr. Walken himself, Christopher Walken. How the heck are you, and what the hell are you doing at Trail Hero?
It's crazy. I've never considered myself as an A-lister, but geez.
You're definitely an A-lister.
This is probably the first podcast I've ever been on. Nuts, really. I know you're bewildered as a listener to know this, but here I am. So, yeah.
This is truly an honor. We've had some incredible guests over the years of Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, but this has got to take the cake here. So what brings you out to Trail Hero?
The dust, really, and the wind. My life has been a whirlwind of fun and exuberance and some ass, like Lorenzo. Finding him on the road was crazy, and that's how I got in touch with you. And here we are. And well, hearing you were going to be here, I knew I had to show.
Wow. Wow. I want to just thank you for helping us find Lorenzo, because it was all points bulletin out. Everybody was extremely concerned for his well-being, and he finally made it back.
Well, he's quite an ass, super producer, really. So how he manages that with the hooves out of my realm, really.
It behooves you?
It does in some ways. In other ways, it bewilders me, really. So, yeah.
So, one of your most famous skits of all time, I just got to bring up, is Cowbell from Saturday Night Live. How did that all come about? And, that just really put you on the map, I think.
Well, they gave me really creative control and kind of turned me loose, really. And, everybody knows I love a good cowbell. And so, guys, I need more cowbell. And there it is.
And there it is. Oh, I love it. This is incredible. So are you going to do any four-wheeling or anything while you're out here? Or are you just observing, or what's going on?
I brought up my 89 Corolla on a 9-inch lift, and I really want to turn it loose. But, sometimes when I go on the trail, I'm fully recognized, and I like to lay low. So I don't know if I'll actually go out there. I might just attend parties, maybe walk through the vendors and things like that, and just say hello to people, and maybe just cruise with Lorenzo, because that ass knows his way around, if you know what I'm saying.
He definitely knows his way around. A Corolla. That's impressive. I never heard of off-road Corolla, and especially with a 9-inch lift. So that highly specialized.
You never know what to expect at these events. I've seen limos, I've seen ambulances, but really I like to throw everyone for a loop. Frankenstein never bothered me, so I was just like, let's go.
There you go. I don't even know how to respond to that, but that makes total sense without making sense at all. If that makes any sense to you, I don't know. I just wow. Well, boy, Lorenzo is giving the hoof here. He is.
Is that the end when he says go?
No,
He says jump how high.
He's
Kind of. Wow.
He's just he's
It's crazy, really, that ass.
he's still amazed that you're here. Actually, that and he's very thankful. He's a little shy, but he's very thankful for helping his safe return back to us. So,
Well, really, it was my pleasure. You know, I'm a man of the people. I love my fans. I also love to steal the wardrobes on the movies that I'm into. So there's that. But don't let that get out. Are we recording right now?
no, but we can edit that out. That's fine. Don't worry about
Perfect. I think I love you.
it. Wow, we're definitely gonna edit that one out. That's at the 11-minute mark there, Lorenzo. Cut, edit. We'll get that one. So, go. Okay, let's see where to go from here. All right, let's. I gotta get. Here we go.
Have you driven the trails out here? Very sandy. It's coarse. I don't know if I like it. Sometimes I like walking on the beach, usually with a glass of red. A Pinot, really. I like California reds. They're nice and smooth, but sometimes bold. How do you like them, Jason?
I prefer my red wine, yes, but more Cabernet than Pinot.
Well, there's a problem right there. You see, you're just not refined at all. You're just over here drinking whiskey all the time. And
I was going to
rarely-
ask you about that. What you I know we sampled some Old Elk
Yes,
bourbon
we did.
here in
Yeah.
camp. I'm dry right now. I'm
was
going on my
crazy.
almost 50th day dry here. But
Well,
what do you
congratulations, but I drank your share.
you
Let's
did?
Be clear.
So what do you think of that Old Elk?
That's smooth as a baby's bottom, running right down your throat and burning in your chest in a good way, not like a fire in California. It's crazy, really. I lost 4 homes in the fires, but you know, it happens when you live in the wild area like the wilderness, and as we all do, we come to the wilderness to be free, really. So here we are. This is a wonderful studio, by the way.
Thank you. I'm sorry to hear you lost 4 homes in the fires there, and they were it's devastating, California.
Well,
but
it's true. But I own 4 more, so I'm not really worried.
Yeah, I
Really.
would imagine.
My agent is nuts. He owns 17 homes. He rents them all. We call him the slumlord, really.
There you go. So
Fresno, mostly.
that's a lovely place. It's the armpit of California, don't you think?
Pits, like La Brea, are interesting to me. A lot of knowledge of the earth, really. Tar and stone. A lot of things to learn in the pits. Maybe like Fresno, if it's actually the armpit of California. Wow.
The La Brea tar pits. Oh my god. Let's see. What else can I don't know what other avenue to go down here that's just going to end up in a train wreck.
Maybe we should talk about the event we're at. This hero of the trails, who is he or she? It's a Me Too time, you know, so women can do whatever they want. But, you know, I've got my eye on a few people. Amber Turner is kind of amazing. She does a thing. She climbs rocks. She blasts across the beach, sand everywhere. Nuts, really, if you're on a towel. that sucks. Yeah.
Amber is quite the driver and definitely puts on a great show out here at Trail Hero. I don't think there's any one person. I think everybody's a hero for being here and supporting the event. What do you think?
Wow. I just want to see all the capes, really, of these heroes. Do they fly them off their whips or what?
There are flags flying off the whips, but I don't know. You know, it's not all heroes wear capes there, Christopher. But
it's true. I read recently about a man who saved a baby near a subway, and I thought, wow, if I ever go near a subway, maybe I'd yell at someone to do the same.
That's a good idea.
Very dangerous being a hero. Let's be honest.
It truly is. Truly is. You know, this event's for the veterans, veteran based, and special needs children, getting them access to the areas that they can't get to on their own. So motorized access to these individuals that would like to get there that don't have any realistic means of getting there.
Well, that's, I feel, a very important part of society is giving back, you know, and I fully support it. And that's why I'm here, really. I'll be making appearances and signing autographs to people who know me, who can spot me in my disguise. You know, nothing formal, really, because I don't want to take away from them. But I do think that's an imperative part of our society is giving back and recognizing who has done extraordinary things and been the real hero.
Well said. That was very well said there. That actually made sense. That's very good. That's very good. I might actually could use that one. Lorenzo definitely approved. His tail is wagging happily, and he has got the hoof up of approval. Very good. Well, he's excited now. You're on a roll, Christopher. Just keep it going, man. I you know, we got Trail Hero, all these celebs, yourself. Any other celebrities that you know about that are out here?
Well, I've heard Arnold is around here with his whole entire Hummer collection on the sand somewhere, or maybe camped up in the hills. You know, he's 38 Hummers, and I hear he actually has the EV, what the kids call the EV Hummer, which is electric vehicle. And wow, the power, amazing. If you're in the driver's seat, feeling that power between your legs, it's crazy.
Wow. So you got to, so Arnold's here. I did not know that. That's awesome.
You know, I've heard, I don't want to say, we're good friends.
Right.
The Arnold, and I call him the Arnold because there really isn't any other.
No, there truly isn't. He's one of a kind for sure. So you got to drive his EV, his electric vehicle Hummer there.
Well, I don't know if he'd like me saying this, but I drove it, yes. I drove it. I tried to drive it right into the ground. It was nuts. Crazy, really. Felt like... Have you ever been to Cedar Point?
I haven't.
Well, you're missing out. Tons of roller coasters, really. Power, smooth, incredible. The Hummer.
Wow. That sounds like a commercial that might be in the works there for the new electric Hummer. This is good.
Well, they haven't called me, but I'd love to do it, even as a voiceover. But I love to drive. Like I said before, my Corolla, it's a boss and conquers all.
I can't wait to see it here in the daylight hours and check this thing out. All 9 inches of lift that your Corolla has. That will be awesome. Can you talk about any future movies or anything, TV shows or anything that you got coming up? Or
Well, we're always under like an NDA, so I'm not really allowed to talk about things. But I can say capes, wizards, crazy eye patches, maybe boats, and also starships.
that's quite the lineup there. This is going to be a heck of a show. We'll look forward to that into theaters near us here in a year or so, I would imagine.
Lovely. I'd love to see you there. Maybe if you email me, I'll get you a ticket to the premiere. But you have to wear tux.
No problem. That's we do have tuxedos here.
We have standards. Damn it!
I bet you do. That's fine. Hell, I may even get a haircut or something. Shave.
Oh, I can hook you up with my stylist. She's crazy. She helps me steal all the wardrobe from all the stuff that I'm in.
That's awesome. That's good. And it keeps you keeps you up with the latest fashion, I would imagine.
It's true. Lord of the Rings doesn't go everywhere.
How about watches? Do you have any fine watches that you?
I've been collecting ancient pirate watches that hook in your vest, and you have to flip around your hand. Really, people don't like it because most people look at their phone, which I don't understand. But okay.
Well, there you go. I remember that one line in what movie was that where it's talking about the watch? That was a great scene that you did. The watch up the ass. You remember that?
Oh yeah, yes. You're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, exactly
Classic
right.
Scene. One of the best I think I've ever done. Speaking to a young, Bruce Willis's character. Yeah, Butch. And I had to say the words. For 2 years, your father held this watch up his ass.
That's the one. That's it. Very good. You remember that.
I'll never forget it. One of the hallmarks of my career, really.
It really was. It was a defining moment. Much like cowbell.
Well, some people wake up in the morning and they put on their pants. The only difference is I put on my pants and I make hit records.
That's perfect. That's exactly it. I think it's gold records, but hit records work too. I know you've been imbibing a little bit this evening.
Age and experience. You lose some things and you gain others,
Well said. That is another great line. Bye. So, how long are you out here for? Are you gonna be for the whole event? Or?
I'm trying to go incognito, but if this blows up, I'll have to leave before the end of the week. But I'm trying to stay the whole time. I really wanted to take a dip in the lake, maybe some paddleboarding. I brought some paparazzi with me, and I need the publicity. My agent loves current photos, so there's that.
Are you aware of that the algae in the water that causes like swimmer's itch?
Well, I'm not a swimmer per se. I have competed, but that was years ago. So I'm not looking to challenge anyone. However, I'm not scared of the water. I'm not afraid, and I can do it.
That's awesome. That's going to be so good. And you brought your own paparazzi. Well, that's really good. Yeah, you're doing well so far, laying low, and nobody that I know knows that you're here. But we'll hold this episode till the event is over with, so we won't blow your cover.
I would appreciate that. I love the people. I'm a man of the people, and I might want to run for office someday. So there's that.
That would be great. Like, governor?
I don't know.
Like your buddy Arnold?
I don't like to tread on people's coattails, such as things happen. So we'll just see.
Leaving your options open. I love that. Well, let's see. Man, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. And What, Lorenzo?
Just breathe. Breathe through it.
Okay.
I do these exercises. My buddy Matthew McConaughey had told me if you beat your chest and breathe through it, you'll be fine.
Really?
It's an old acting thing. You wouldn't understand necessarily.
No, I definitely wouldn't, but that sounds like sound advice for actors. Lorenzo is giving us the cut it off sign. Okay. I don't know why, because this is like one of our premier interviews of all time, Lorenzo.
Well, the time's up when you know the ass looks at you and says, I'm raw. I'm chafed. I can't handle anymore. And that's the ass right now.
You gotta listen to your ass. You do. The ass dictates, and especially this ass, Lorenzo. Well, I know your time is very valuable. I thank you so much for stopping by. Totally unexpected, and I again just thank you. Thank you for all you do. Truly
been my pleasure. Right up there with Pulp Fiction. I love it.
Really? Wow, that's a statement right there. I'm humbled. I'm just totally humbled. Well, it looks like your Corolla just pulled up out front there. So
that's my driver, Sage.
Sage. All right. Yep. And nobody's going to know that you're in a Toyota Corolla here, so this is perfect.
It's true. I like to run under the radar.
You're definitely doing that. Well, thanks again, Christopher, and or if I can call you Christopher or Mr. Walken.
I prefer Mr. Walken.
Mr. Walken.
Like the cooler, only cooler.
Well, there it is. I mean, the interview with them was great. I love getting the firsthand, what do you think? Because it was my second time to the area, so I knew what to expect, but I was like that last year when it was like all new and wide-eyed and bushy-tailed going, oh my gosh, this place is just phenomenal.
Just people are like, pull your tongue back and close your mouth.
Yeah, pretty much. Drooling. Wipe that drool off your face. So it was cool just to share that with them. And Tom, we didn't get him on the podcast, but he was, same thing. He's like, man, this place is better than King of the Hammers.
You didn't get CJ in there either, huh?
No, well, CJ had to leave early, so unfortunately, but at least he got a little taste. He dipped his toe in the water.
He caravan down with you, and but then when did he have to leave?
He
Tuesday?
left. Yeah, when was that? Was that Tuesday morning, I think.
Oh,
yeah, Tuesday morning, Monday night. I don't know. It was a quick trip for him.
That's a long drive.
Really quick trip.
Basically 4 nights or 3 nights.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so that was cool. And then, then to sit down sober with Christopher Walken that was a mind trip right there.
Yeah.
You just never know what he's going to say, and you try to make sense of what he says. And then he says other things that are just far witty than you would ever dream of coming up with. So it's a roller coaster ride there. That was fun.
I would have loved to have met him, but this is as you go through life, you kind of meet up with people, and you're like, you start talking to them, and whether it's a celebrity or just a normal person, and some people that are in my everyday life, you're like, man, I'm glad I can't see inside your mind, because that would probably kill me.
Oh man. Yeah, that's one warped mind right there.
Yeah.
But perfect. I love it. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that. Something a little different. You never know what you're going to get on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey. It's like a box of chocolates. You might get Stone Sober Jason. Which
some people don't really like Stone Sober Jason.
People don't like. Amber Turner's one of them, and Jason doesn't like. So Jay Barry doesn't like Sober Jason.
I'm still looking for a new drinking buddy. You can send your applications to Chris at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. Pictures too, if you're female.
Pictures, you're going to judge a book by its cover.
Could be a headshot or something else, but
you better watch out. You're going to get some D pics, man.
Oh, no D pics. No D pics. I have a filter for that. It's called a circular file.
You know some of our listeners, so
right?
Be careful what you ask for, Chris. Be careful what you ask for.
This is a PG-rated show.
Oh, it is? We're not explicit anymore?
No, we are explicit.
Even though Lorenzo and I are sober?
I was thinking about it. This episode's going to drop When is this episode going to drop? Why is my calendar not up? What's going on here? Lorenzo, do something.
Lorenzo, wake up.
This is going to drop right after
Second.
Thanksgiving.
No.
I mean, not thanks. Halloween.
Halloween.
Sorry, Halloween. I'm confused.
Second.
So, yeah. So this will be like our Halloween episode with a little surprise.
Oh, I like it. So trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
This is our trick or treat episode.
Yeah.
Halloween. Trick or treat.
2021.
Our gift.
Did I get the year right?
It is 2021. You're right. It is still 2021. 2021, almost 2022, which is just crazy.
And don't forget, the holidays are coming up. Make sure you get your order in for merch, like we had mentioned in the last episode. Looks like supply chain issues might be challenging, and so you want to get your orders in early so we can get you your loved ones their holiday merch.
That'll be a nice treat. Koozie to hold your favorite beverage, canned beverage.
That's right. Not Truly and not White Claw.
No, but there's canned wine that the assistant was drinking.
Well,
I wonder how that is.
That's going to be the way it's going to be if we can't get
Canned
bottles.
wine. Yeah, well, that's right, and it preserves it well. So,
yep, I've moved to boxed wine. Why not? Sure,
oh,
why not?
Perfect. There you go. This is really going south. This is going where I never thought it would. Off the rails. Where I'm sober and
I just ordered
Chris is drinking box wine
and ordered a Prius.
Oh no. We shut down the podcast at that point. If you get a Prius or I start drinking Fireball, that's just it's done.
Well, JL Latte Rodney's trying to get me to buy a Mustang Mach-E.
Hey, that's a nice looking rig, man.
Yeah, he just took delivery of his.
Yeah.
Or his wife took delivery of hers. So she was carless. I can't believe that was a copacetic deal. He just sold her car and said, "No, you get no car."
I know. Well, there you go. But I did get to drive the new Bronco. I never talked about that.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to talk about that.
So, yeah, our buddy Michael bought this thing, ordered it, one of the first orders there. So he got a 4-door.
Entry, what do they call it, the Premier Edition or something, or not the...
Well, there's so many different... This is the Outer Banks Sasquatch edition, I guess.
Okay. And this is the real Bronco, not the
real
Bronco Sport.
No, this is a full-blown, full-size 4-door Bronco, and with the Ecotech, the 2.7 or something. It's like
4-cylinder.
I think it is. It's twin turbo. I mean, the thing's got some good get up and go.
The V6 then.
I don't know. I am impressed with.
You sent it then.
Well, I didn't. It was brand new and it's not mine, so I didn't mash the throttle like a Kevin Jones or something, but I did get into it a little bit just to see.
Well, wait a minute. Now I heard Michael, your friend Michael, when he got into your Mustang,
he did. He abused it a little bit. Yeah, he abused it a little bit.
Return the favor, dude.
I know, but I didn't. I was a little more respectful, I guess.
All right.
But very nice rig.
I don't know you anymore.
Rode well. Yeah, I'm just getting old. It rode very well. It was a soft top, so there was the top doesn't flutter at all, but you definitely get some road noise in the back there, being a soft top. But man, there's all kinds of cool little Easter eggs in there. The GPS coordinates down in Johnson Valley where they did some testing, and just this one had some blue accents stitching on the seats and then in the vents and. Throughout, just kind of throughout the cab there. But it was very comfortable to drive, fun. It was a cool rig. I put it in 4-wheel low in the parking lot just to see how low it was, and it's low. It's 10-speed tranny.
Okay, so it's an automatic.
Automatic, yep.
Did you do the
front dig?
Front dig.
I wanted to, but we were in a parking lot, so it probably wouldn't have been good for his brand new tires. And those tires were good looking, man. They were siped up. I'm like, man, these things are going to be nice in the snow and
cool
and mud and stuff. Very, very cool. I would love to have one, but I need to sell some shit.
You
first.
want one of everything. You want a Raptor. You want a Bronco.
Raptor would be cool too.
Probably want a Mustang Mach-E now.
I'd like to check that out and see. It's
blow
nice.
away blow your Mustang away.
It might. It might. I don't know.
It won't make any noise either.
No, I like the sound of that supercharger, man. That thing sounds nice. I think it's wines.
Well, another first, Jason, with Wheeling Wine Whiskey got to drive.
Yeah,
the
so I
Bronco.
forgot to talk about that, but yeah, very cool, and definitely if you get the opportunity, check them out. And another great Ford product out there, Chris.
Well, I'm looking at a Ford Escape, but that's about it.
Oh wow, okay.
And a Hyundai. I really like the Hyundai Tucson. I really do.
Yeah.
I test drove one, but it was the limited edition.
Okay.
This thing was sweet. I mean, it was really nice.
Ooh.
And my wife's like, "You ain't getting this."
Why?
Because
it's too nice.
It's too nice.
Nicer than her car.
Probably.
She's got a nice car.
She does have a nice
Jeep.
car. But it's a commuter, and but I mean, here's the deal. Right now, the dealerships are not. Everything's above MSRP. They're not.
No bargaining.
They had a markup sticker on this thing. It was $99.95, so it was $10,000 over MSRP. And the salesman's like, "We're not negotiating down."
There's no
from this."
negotiation.
It's like, you're going to pay this price, or if you're not going to pay it,
And there's like 12 cars on the lot.
Yeah, somebody behind you will pay that. And I'm like, well, we're done then, because I'm not paying $10,000 over MSRP for a freaking Hyundai.
No, that's crazy.
I mean, maybe for a Bronco, I might consider it. Maybe for something really, niche. But for a freaking mainstream sedan or SUV, that ain't gonna happen.
Wow.
So I got time. I'll wait.
Well, you could put a saddle on Lorenzo and he could just take you into work.
Clop on up the freeway.
Yeah. It'd be a little slow, but he'll get you there.
Oh yeah, no, slow and steady. Slow and steady.
Slow and steady.
They win. That wins
That's
the
right.
game. Wins the race.
Wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. You got to first finish to finish first.
That's right.
That's the other one too.
I
like that one.
I don't know if I'll win with Lorenzo though. He'll stop and want to eat hay and shit. And oats.
Oats.
You ever gone on a trail ride with a horse and you're on those fixed trails up at Tahoe and stuff, and the horse is just clopping along, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, that looks good," and stops and starts munching on
fresh patch of grass there.
And you're like, come on, little doggy.
on up.
let's go. The group's gone.
Yeah. Well, that's I've ridden burros quite a few times in Yosemite. And then I've done it in the Eastern Sierras on a little fishing trip that was pretty cool. But yeah, sometimes they just randomly stop for no apparent reason.
Well,
they're just, maybe they are thinking, maybe they're resetting their hit and control alt delete
reboot.
Maybe that's what we need to do for Lorenzo. He's shaking his head.
No, he's not liking that. All right. Well, we've gone down.
Well,
a rabbit hole.
that's good. Hopefully everybody had a great Halloween. Hopefully you enjoyed this random thoughts episode with Christopher Walken, and we'll see if you liked it. Maybe I've got his number. We might be able to get him back on here in the future. You just never know.
With the Walken,
the
Mr. Walken.
It never ceases to amaze me the doors that this podcast has opened and the avenues we've gone down, and and the train wrecks that have ensued. So
I call them avenues. I might call them like ways or freaking drives.
Yeah.
Definitely not a boulevard. We're not that classy.
No boulevard. No. But yeah, we're classier than the Snail Boys, though.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't drink Fireball.
Keep saying that. All right.
Well, that's all I got.
Me too. So on that note, we are out.